Joanne's here. Joanne, I just tagged you as well, darling. Yvonne's here. Anna made it. Hello. Okay, I'm just going to move my cup of tea out of the way. And then we will, and I remember to turn off my music this time. See, I'm learning. So what we will do is hit this magic button and hit this magic button. Ta-da! Please pay no mind. I'll move my phone out of the way as well. Please pay no mind to the junk yard that is going on around me tonight. We want to move it this way so that you guys can see. You're actually a little bit high. I'm 5 apparently. Okay, we're gonna just move you down. Alright, and into frame. Alright, this is what we're starting off with tonight, guys, but before we get to that, here are the butterfly colors we're using. But these are the alcohol ink markers that everybody is talking about. I came across them by pure chance. I was looking to get alcohol markers for a couple of years, but as anybody knows that's looked into them before, they are not cheap. So it's kind of something that I've looked for, nothing in my price range, so I'd forgotten about it and then I'd keep coming back to it, right? I actually saw somebody, it might have even been Holly herself, but somebody posted a picture in Glitter Your World's VIP group, and they'd used alcohol markers to make a rainbow leopard, which is very similar to what we're going to be doing in tomorrow night's live. I'm going to show you a few things that you can use the alcohol markers for that aren't cups. But it made me want alcohol ink markers again, and then I remembered, oh yeah, that's right, I wanted markers. So I went looking and I actually found the set is 83 markers from memory for 60 bucks. It was 330, I think, guys, but it's on special for 60 bucks. So when I saw that it had been greatly reduced, that's why I grabbed them. I shared them with Anna. Anna got them. I think Anna shared them in one of her lives, and from there, or I might have even mentioned it in my beach one a couple of weeks ago, and from there it's become a bit of a craze. So you do get 83 in the packet. Anna, if you're still around, can you please post the link? However, I do have it on good authority that somebody that we know and love is getting her own kind of alcohol ink markers in very soon as well, which is why I got my container from Kmart. I will post the link for that later, but it comes in a medium and a large size, and I got the large size because I plan to add to these 83. There's no reason why you should only be sticking to one brand anyway, but because that craze started is how we ended up doing this mini series. Now I had plans to start doing mini series after we'd finished doing the beginners and the intermediate series, which has been going since September last year. We have finally finished that, so now I get to do themed series, and I'm really excited about it because the alcohol ink markers kind of timed them the right way. This is why we're starting with alcohol ink markers, but this is the style that we're doing tonight. I've already done one butterfly because I gave you a little teaser picture earlier, but basically to get to this point I've just done, well, I spray painted, this is a 15-ounce skinny. I spray painted the base white. While the spray paint was still wet, I put my glitter on. Once that was dry, I epoxied it, and once it had been epoxied, I printed, sealed and applied my water slides. Now if you can see, we've got some big ones and some little ones, and they go the whole way around the cup. Okay, and that says Social Butterfly. I'm actually making this for my daughter. Anybody that's had the let's say the pleasure of meeting my daughter or having her crash gate one of our video calls will know what I'm talking about, but this is for her. Let's catch up. Love the butterfly. I thought it was very befitting. Logan's getting we're also doing a Serape cup tonight, which is the lines, like the rings. He wants a fox themed one that said, well, he wanted it to say "for fox's sake" with a little picture of a fox. But being 10 years old, I don't think I'm comfortable with my 10-year-old having that on a cup. Maybe when he's like 14, 15, but I think 10's a bit young. So now I have to think of some clever age-appropriate saying for a fox. So if you've got any ideas, let me know. But the colours, if you're interested, that we're using tonight on the one that's going to look like this. For the pinks, we've got number 84 and number 87. For the purples, we've got 73 and 83. There we go. On one butterfly. And on the other butterfly, we have 64 and 65. And for the right way around, Laura, 53 and 58. Okay, are the colours that we're using on the butterflies tonight. Now, once you've glittered, epoxied, you don't have to glitter. If it's a cup for a boy and you don't want to use sparkles, you spray paint it, then you put a coat of epoxy on it, then you come and do your water slides. If you are using water slides, and I find that when I'm doing stained glass anything, water slides are 100% easier, especially with little detailed designs like this, than trying to cut vinyl, right? But to make sure that the outside of your clear water slide, the line of the edge doesn't show up, you do have to epoxy before applying water slides. We covered tattoos and water slides in the beginners series, if you want to go back through and search for that. But I'm left-handed, guys, so I do apologize. If you are using, they are alcohol markers, alcohol ink markers, and not paint markers. Okay, for you to get, if you can see, right, it's like we've done a printed water slide on clear. You can still see the glitter from underneath. Using paint pens, I'm not sure, would give you the same effect. Okay, is this the light one or the dark one? This is the light one. Okay. And all you do is go back to first grade, where you were learning to colour between the lines. Right, please make sure that your water slide, if you are using a water slide, I have an epoxied over this, right? It still works straight onto the actual water slide itself. Just don't press too hard because you can rip through your design. And the second thing that I would mention is please leave it a fair while to dry out. Like these water slides I put on about this time last night. Okay, so they've had a full 24 hours to dry. I'm going to leave them from tonight probably till tomorrow afternoon to let the alcohol dry, and then I will spray seal and epoxy. Does anybody have any questions so far? Like this is pretty much how you do stained glass, right? So the butterflies I use for different projects. I already had them on file. This social butterfly, I actually found an SVG that said anti-social butterfly, but that's not my daughter, so I edited the text to what I wanted it to say, resized it, repositioned it, and then added the little butterfly myself. But when you're looking for images, a good starting point is typing in whatever you're looking for and then the words free coloring page afterwards. Now I find I get a lot better hits if I spell coloring without the U, so the American spelling, C-O-L-O-R-I-N-G. I actually get better hits than spelling it the correct, well, what in my opinion is the correct way of spelling it. Find the image that you want and then import it into your whatever program you're using and trace it, and from there you can color it black. Okay, I like using black because it gives more of a definition for the shape. Hi Janine, you haven't missed much. This is the first style that we're doing with the alcohol ink markers. If you want the colors, go back and watch the replay, but basically I'm just explaining how to get your stained glass images now. But all I did was spray painted, glittered, epoxied, applied the water slide, let the water slide dry for about 24 hours, and now we're using the alcohol ink markers to paint straight over the top. Okay, but find whatever your, so Fox free coloring in page, Dolphin free colouring page, Mandala free colouring page, whatever you're looking for, find that, trace it, colour it black, size it to whatever colour, whatever size you like, and then you print, seal and apply. And that's, I mean, really the possibilities are endless when you think about it. This butterfly I already had, but I mean, it's not using alcohol ink markers. But it's the same concept as I do kids t-shirt packs where I find free colouring in images. It's great for like last minute birthday party gifts, like if you just found the invitation in the bottom of your kid's school bag and the birthday's the next day. This is the kind of present that I make. But onto a white t-shirt I will heat press the silhouette of a colouring in page, and then buy a packet of those Crayola washable markers, the fine tip ones, and give that as a pack, because then they can colour in their own t-shirt and wash it and recolour again as many times as they want. So it's the same concept as that, but on a cup. Can you pin the comment? Yes ma'am, I can. It's pinned. Kim, this is a fun way to try them out. Yeah, we've got pinks and purples, which is what I used for the teaser picture earlier tonight, and now we're doing blues, and they're not really teals. I mean, that's more of a mint and that's more of a green. This is what we're going with, and I want my light colors. See, the pink butterflies I've gone light and dark, and then the blue butterflies I thought I'd color match instead of alternate, but we'll do light on the inside and dark on the outside. Yeah, it's a bit of a mint colour. As I said, I'm left-handed, guys, I'm really sorry. I haven't made a mistake yet, touch wood. But if you go outside the lines, or you colour a bit that you don't want to colour or anything like that, just get like one of those little alcohol wipes, or probably don't spray alcohol on it, especially if it's like a tiny little bit here but you don't want to mess up your design. I just use the little squares of the alcohol wipes and clean up. Crystal, it wouldn't let me tag a lot of people. I think I only got half the tag list done because people just weren't coming up. So blame Facebook. But having said that, I probably could have messaged you, so I do apologise. But all you've missed so far is me colouring in this butterfly and talking. Try and get this to focus. See, and you can still see the glitter from underneath. What do you think? Take a damn writing water slide, woman. I think you knocked it. Are you talking about the S here? Because I know. But I figured I might. That happened earlier today, but I did notice that. But the rest of them are dry. That's happened when I was probably, because I put this on first, when I was putting the butterflies on here. I think I've knocked it. But no, I do know about that S. But it's for Serenity, so if I can't fix it... Whoa, that was a bit weird. Did anybody see that? My camera just went... What are we up to? Let's do a blue one up here as well. Are the colours more vibrant on a matte base? No, not really. Alcohol ink markers aren't super pigmented to begin with. Some of them, like the darker colours, as you can see, the darker colours do hold more pigment to the pastels. But, I mean, when we do Logan's cup, that's just straight onto spray paint. So you'll see then. This is the light blue. Try to do it in a way where you guys can still... I'm just using the fine tip. But we'll do 2 more butterflies and then we can move on to the Serape cup. Because I think you guys get it, yeah. If you do want to build up colour, wait until it dries and then go over it again. And you can build layers of colour that way. The cup that we're making on Thursday night is a better example of how you can build and layer colours. But we're starting simple and small tonight. We'll work our way up to the pista resistance. See, can anybody see that? No, probably not. I just went outside. Lights. I'll get my little alcohol wipe. Now you can see the blue, maybe. See? It comes straight off. If you do it over a matte base, which is what we're about to do with the Serape cup, you can leave a little bit of residue. I will say that now. But if you keep rubbing, I mean, as long as, if you're doing it straight over spray paint, be careful, because at some point you're going to start rubbing off the spray paint. Just don't make too big of a mistake, I suppose. It is my only advice. Who's not feeling well? Angela. Is that Angela? Nicole. Yeah, Nicole, it's all the way up the very, very top. But I'll add it into the description at the end as well. Got the Boil Seal Spray in the craft section at Bunnings because I couldn't find anything else. It has a strong smell. Are you spraying inside? My only advice would be, besides don't spray in the house, because that's not very good. But if you have any disposable masks or cloth masks or anything from when we were in lockdown laying around, just use one of them while you're spraying. And then if you can, let it dry outside, at least for the first, say, 20 minutes, half an hour, in the colder weather. Almost done. There we go. So that's the front. We've got one blue, two blues. How many? One. I might do these two big ones pink and purple, and these two small ones blue. I think that's what I'll do. But that's how you do a stained glass tumbler. So to revise, spray paint, glitter, epoxy, water slide, colour in, leave it dry, excuse me, for at least, say, 8 to 10 hours. Give it a good seal spray. I use Rust-Oleum 2 times in the clear, in either gloss or satin finish. It depends what I can get my hands on. I do prefer the satin, but I'm using the gloss at the moment. And then once your spray seal dries, it's ready for epoxy. Yeah, they do. The Rust-Oleum has a pretty strong smell about it as well. But that is a stained glass tumbler. Does anybody have any questions? I just realised I'm lagging a little bit. Has my frame rate been real funny? Can anybody confirm? Okay, while I'm waiting for somebody to let me know what my stream quality would they do with acrylic crystal. No. I mean, if you want to do that method and paint between the lines, it will definitely work. If you want to get that stained glass effect with the glitter coming up from underneath, no, it won't work. To get that stained glass effect, you have to be using a semi-transparent medium like alcohol inks, or alcohol ink markers, obviously, but alcohol ink markers you can just get more of a fine detail with than obviously using alcohol inks, and like even using a cotton, like a little cotton tip. Seems okay. Okay, I'm going to switch you guys quickly over to the Be Right Back screen just so I can flip my camera around, and then I'll be back. Okay, hopefully it doesn't freeze. There we go. Ta-da! It's like magic. Woohoo! Okay, so trying to get it where you're all in frame. That might be better actually, with no it wants to focus. Oh, she's getting old, guys. She's overworked and underpaid, this one. See, it's all... So she's a bit jumpy. We'll see how we go. Obviously, jumpy's going to be a bit of a problem if we're trying to do straight lines, but it wouldn't be the first time we've flown by the seat of our pants, would it? Okay, so for this again is a 15-ounce skinny. I am doing them for my children. I've been doing this 3 years now, and I've only ever made them drink bottles, so I thought it's probably time that I made them their own special cups. Oh, that was a far reach. Okay, I'm gonna move my phone out of the way. So yes, 15-ounce skinny. It has been spray painted matte white. I think I used the Dulux paint on this because I've currently run out of the super cheap one. But you want something, this is a 25-ounce box. You want something that's about the same height as your cup, where you can rest a pen on. I also need, where is it? I'm using 12mm tape, right? And those two together, once I put the marker on there, all I have to do is hold it. And as I hold it, it'll spin. Is that making sense? Maybe I need to put you, hang on. I'm trying to get you. Okay. Just for the start, so that you can see what I'm talking about, and then I'll move you back. Alright, so obviously I want to start at the bottom. The colours he's chosen, because he wants a fox cup, he wants red, orange, yellow, and then because it's a Serape-style cup, we're going to use the black as well. So the red is number 10. The orange is number 23. The yellow is number 35. Please focus. And the black is 120. Oh, what issues are we having before we start? Hang on. You're moving too quick. Nerve root injury. Oh no, I can't do dental stuff. Sorry, Nicole, my heart goes out to you, but I'm not going to read the rest of your comments. I can't do the dentist. I had like a really traumatic experience, and I can't do it anymore. Thanks, Laura. Anna helped me with the question. I've just joined. Okay, no worries. I've answered Crystal, I'm too far up now. Mine tried to steal everyone I make. Oh, we're talking about children. Yeah, no, my children value their fingers, so they stay out of my room most of the time, unless they hear I'm on the phone. Okay, so this time, instead of using the fine tip, I am using the chisel tip. I'm going to line like that. No, I'm too far up. That's alright, I can fill that in. So if I hold the marker, I don't move the marker, and I don't come off the page, oh no! So guys, this takes a lot more concentration than you give it credit for, right? The whole chisel has to be, I'm like talking through my teeth because I don't want to move. Hang on, we'll finish this line. Alright, so this is on its third rotation. Can you see how the colour is slowly building up? And if I don't come off the cup again, in this one spot where it always seems to want to run away. I think we're just about there. Okay, so we have our first line. Was that a good enough demonstration? I'm going to put my cup, there we go, now it won't move. If I put my cup rack up against, see here, put it up against the turner, then when I'm pushing on the cup, the turner can't move because it's too heavy. Okay, so we have our red line. Now, from here down, I'm just going to use one of my red alcohol inks, or I might even use black acrylic paint and just fill it in. Okay, I've only ever done this method one other time, and I used Sharpies. Okay, but because I couldn't buy alcohol markers. But now that we have alcohol markers, I know what I'm doing, but I have not done this method with markers before. I've only ever done them with Sharpies. So we're getting there. Okay, so I'm going to hold it this way this time because I need to keep in mind that I'm left-handed and I'm trying to do it right-handed. But I'm going to bring that up against here. There we go. And around we go. So once you have your height and your position worked out, it does get easier. I promise. Okay, so this is the second rotation. Oh no, I came off. That's all right. It's probably a good example anyway. See how the colour's building between the two sections where I skipped there? I've seen that lady on TikTok, Crystal. She does everything with a drill. Is that the lady you're talking about? I don't think I've got enough coordination to do half the shit that she does. Let's be honest. Me and power tools aren't the best of friends. I mean, you saw what I almost did to myself when I was using my Dremel to try and drill holes into the clicker of the pens for the charms. Alright guys, we're on our third way around. Is this making sense? Like, they're pretty straightforward methods, man, but they're really effective. If anybody's got one of the old DJ and Raw turners, I know her new ones move at the same rate as these do. But if you've got one of the old school ones where the rotation was twice this fast, that'd probably be a more effective turner to do this on. I'm just going to blend that through and let that dry. Okay, now I'm going to do black, but because I want my black lines to be nice and thin, I'm going to use the fine tip rather than the chisel tip. No, come back, I love you. This is why I need somebody to write me some royalty-free music. I was thinking about that today, especially with techniques that take a lot of concentration, because I'm sure it's boring. It's pretty boring for you guys. Okay, so I'm just making it a little bit thicker with this way, just so it doesn't look like my 8th grade maths teacher's eyebrows. It's not radio silence. We're just about done anyway. There we go. So the Serape-style cup will be the same deal. I'll turn that off. Will be the same deal as the stained glass cup. Once I'm finished doing this, I will leave it for, I'll probably end up finishing it off tomorrow night. And then the afternoon after that, so what's that, Thursday afternoon, I'll spray seal it, and then it will be ready and finished to a point where I can actually show you what it looks like when it's finished for our last part 3, when we do that watercolor looking one. But that's basically the Serape method with alcohol ink markers. I mean, if you didn't want to put it on a turner, another way of doing it, which I've seen people do, is you do the same trick where you rest. Obviously, you'd start at your lowest point, you'd hold your alcohol marker, you'd hold the cup, you'd spin the cup like this until you got a straight line, and then you would slowly build up your levels from there. If you do have a turner, obviously this is going to be much easier. Okay, so that's the keychain, and that's the pen. Okay, so I buy, this is an acrylic blank that I bought from a friend of mine that has a laser cutting machine. I don't get her to drill the holes in it, because then I can use I buy a bunch of the discs at once, and then I can decide whether I want to use them as like to glue onto phone grips, or to use as keychains, or to stick onto badge reels, or whatever I'm in the mood for doing. And then if I need to drill a hole, I drill a hole, right? But that is the keychain and the keyring and pen set that we're doing tonight, and that's that leopard print with the rainbow is Holly's idea originally. We're going to do a big bag tag. This is an acrylic blank that I bought like retail, and it's already got the pre-drilled hole in it. We have our phone grip, and we have our tile. These are just the tiles from Bunnings, and then I put a foam square on the back to turn it into a coaster. And before we go any further, if I could get it in frame. I finished that one. So, almost finished. And then, because I tried to peel this off to redo it, and it wouldn't come up. So, I tried to fix the S, bearing in mind it's for my daughter and not for a customer, so if it looks a bit dodgy, then she's not going to care. But I added little dots to the bottom and the sides so that it kind of looked like it was supposed to be that way, and tried to fix the S. So that's been fixed. It's been spray sealed, and that's going to get epoxy for tomorrow. The Serape cup that we were doing last night, I got a little bit lazy today. I had my eldest home for no other reason than he was too lazy to get out of bed this morning. So I've only gone halfway up the cup, but that is in progress as well. You've messaged Holly May. Oh, okay, maybe don't message people that we talk about in the live unless they're already in the group. I know that you mean to help, but if she's in the middle of having dinner or something and we start tagging her from, like messaging her from this group and telling her to come over, it can be a little bit imposer, like it's imposing on her. So it's okay to tag her, it's okay to invite her to the group. Once she's in the group, tag her, her business page, whatever, as many times as you want. But I am going to ask if you just refrain from messaging people, because that can be a little bit intrusive. If she sees it while we're still live, she sees it. Otherwise, she will get a notification and she will come back. But we're going to start with, I think from memory, this is 7 centimeters. Okay, because this is a 5 centimeter disc and it's slightly, see that? So I think this is 7 centimeters. I bought them thinking that I could use them as keychains, and then I thought that they were too big, so I saved these for my bag tags. And she has requested that we do pinks and purples. And we're going to do it the same way as if you do, you know, the keychains that people make where they put the, like the paint swash and then the name over that. We're going to do the same idea, except we're going to use alcohol markers, and her name goes over the alcohol markers. I'm going to use a fine tip, and again, I'm left-handed, guys, so I'm really sorry. I'm going to start here. That's going to be off center, but I don't think I actually care. There we go. And it's in lives like these, guys, that you're going to start to see why my Year 7 art teacher told me to stick to English. I'm not the best painter, drawer, colorer in the world. Hi, Holly! I was just, if you're wondering why everybody's tagging you, I'm doing these. So I'm giving you credit for the idea. Because we're doing alcohol markers and UV resin crafts tonight. And it was your picture that you put in your group of your set that started me going looking for alcohol markers again. And now here we are, and everybody's got a set. Right, so I'm painting straight onto the acrylic. Holly's just gotten UV resin if you're looking at getting into UV resin. Holly, if you wouldn't mind quickly dropping the link to your website where they can purchase your UV resin. I personally have not used it myself, however quite a few of you have, and from what I've seen it's got nothing but raving results, so I'm fairly comfortable with recommending that, even though I haven't used it myself. Okay, so obviously it is transparent. If you didn't want it to be so transparent, what you could do is go ahead now and spray paint over the top of your alcohol ink so that it was not as transparent. Right, she wants hers left like this because we are going to put a coat of white opal mixed into the UV resin and put that over the top, but I have to let that completely dry, and then it gets a spray seal before I put my UV resin over it. So that was just basically to show you that you can paint straight onto acrylic and how to do that. Do you have the blender pen? They didn't come with blender pens. I just use alcohol. But yeah, Holly used chameleon pens. So hers are a little bit fancier than the alcohol markers. And as you can see, I didn't stay between the lines. Okay, let's do a phone grip. I haven't spray painted this or anything like that. I am doing a rainbow. I am aware that it's Pride Month. I'm not doing a rainbow because it's Pride Month. I'm doing a rainbow because a friend of mine is freaking obsessed with them. And everything that she buys from me is always the same color pattern. So with that in mind, we're going to do a rainbow. And again, I'm going to paint straight on to this. And pray to God that I can get all the colors to fit. So basically with alcohol markers, the same rules apply as if you're using alcohol inks, regardless of if you're using it on a cup or otherwise. I haven't actually tested to see whether I can just resin over the top, like with UV resin, sorry. I still spray seal. If you're wanting to test it out, please let us know how you go. I know for normal resin you do still need to spray seal. I'm using Rust-Oleum 2x clear in the gloss at the moment, but where I can, I prefer the satin. I just like the finish of it better. Obviously once it goes under epoxy it's not a big deal, but I just like the satin better. That's personal choice. But yeah, so both of these projects I will spray seal, and then I will epoxy, and then I will water slide, and then I will epoxy again. I'm not actually sure if she wants sparkles on this phone grip. I did not ask her, but let's be honest, she'll probably end up with sparkles. What happens if you don't spray seal? If you don't spray seal and you put normal epoxy over it, Rebecca, it's going to fade away into almost nothing. Especially with like the real pastels, like the pink and the purple and the blues that we were using with the stained glass cup last night. It's going to fade enough to where you don't see it at all anymore. As I said, I haven't actually tried to see what happens if you can put UV resin straight over alcohol markers. I dare say you'd have to let them dry really, really well. But if you're wanting to try, let us know what happens. You didn't seal any of yours. There you go. And Holly used UV. So maybe, I've got my light here. Maybe at the end of the live we'll come back and we'll put epoxy over it and we'll test the result live. What do you think? I'm just putting an edge on it just because I don't like my messy colouring in job. So now that we've got that, I'm going to get, this is an Isocol bottle, but it's not that in there anymore. I buy the big jugs, like the 5 litre bottles of the Artist Choice 99% proof alcohol stuff, and then I just keep refilling my bottle. So from a distance, I'm going to go like that. See that change? Right. And then we'll let it settle back into itself. Let's see if we need to go again. Maybe just on this purple. There we go. See how it goes real blotchy? Don't panic. I mean, if you've just dumped half a bottle of alcohol on it, it's going to look funky. Please go back now that I've said that. That's not too bad. I'm going to turn that off for a second. It blended really nice at the top and then it just... So, I'm just going to add a bit more colour in, just to redefine the lines. I wanted to make it a bit softer, I didn't want it to go all funny. There. You won't do it, you're too scared. I will so. Everything that I'm making tonight is easily redoable if it becomes that much of a disaster. There'll be no love lost if it doesn't work. Whoops. There we go, that's a bit better now. See how it's not so harsh? Okay, so let's put that aside. These two will resin at the end. Okay, so put my rainbow colours out of the way. Oh, I should be showing you what I'm using. Okay, so on this one, we used the purple and the pink. Nope, these two. The purple and the pink from... No, it's not. It's the purple from last night, which is 73. But the pink, I went with number 6, which is Vivid Pink on that one. And then on this one, the red is number 10. Orange is 23. Yellow is 35. Green is 47. Blue is 66 and the purple was 83. Okay, but once this goes up on YouTube, I'll be listing all the colours and the numbers for your reference as well. So put them aside. Let's do these. This is what I'm most excited about. Woohoo! Does anybody have any questions before I disappear? The big thing of alcohol. Where do you get it from? From memory, I got mine off eBay, but I buy 5 litres at a time, so I think the last time, it was just before lockdown last year that I bought it. It was around the time when we kind of knew that the rest of the world was falling apart, but we didn't think it was going to happen to us, and nobody was yet panic buying all of the craft supplies on the planet. But I will go through my purchase history, and if it's in there, I'll put the link in. Hi, Belinda! All you've missed is a bag tag and a phone grip. But we're about to do keychain and pen, okay? So the colours I want to use for it are these two, these ones. Just because I was a bit iffy about this one, but I like the other 4, so we'll see how we go. Do the flat surface first. Let's try and get a bit more up close and personal, shall we? Okay, so using the fine tip again. just going to colour in random spots. So it is doing exactly the same as what we did on the tumbler last night. But if you don't make cups, or you don't want to make a stained glass cup, this is an alternative. So obviously I used a Leopard Spot SVG for this. The blank itself was actually clear, so I spray painted it. Then I mixed a little bit of this Opal glitter into UV epoxy and spread it on and cured it. And then I went ahead and applied my water slide. Maybe here. So this does, I mean, it's got a brown backing, but that is what it's going to look like with that white backing. It's not going to be transparent like that bag tag, and the pen is the same. Spray painted, glittered, and water slide. Right, because I wanted that white base just to make it, what's the opposite of transparent? Opaque. I didn't want it to be see-through. My neck and my shoulders are so sore today. And I know why. It's because I insist on going down and sitting through my kids' training sessions at the cheer gym. Logan's I kind of have to anyway, because beginning of the year he was a bit of a turd burger. So they actually asked me to stick around and just give him the stink eye when he starts getting out of line. And then it just became a habit that I started sticking around. But I think it's sitting in those chairs, especially when you're huddled up because you're cold. It's the chairs that do it to me. Having said that, Logan played football for a couple of years. And I will take that gym over sitting on an oval in a camp chair at 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning any day of the week. So this is the purple. I have to get into the habit of not using my middle finger for everything. It's just habit because it's my longest finger, and subconsciously I'm just a lazy shit. So instead of going the extra fraction of a millimeter to use my pointer finger, I'm always using my middle finger. And I do it a lot in lives, like I point in lives. And it has been brought to my attention more than once that I'm flipping the entire world off in almost every video. So I have to make a conscious effort to not use that middle finger. Especially since I'm starting to get a lot of international people watching me. And they may not be as chill as my beautiful Aussies. Alright, so this is the yellow that I wasn't really sure about. Although I don't mind it. It doesn't really come up. But it comes up just enough. What do you reckon? I reckon it finishes it off. I mean, not that there's many rainbow leopards running around for us to compare to. I think I can do it however I damn well please. In fact, I think I'm going to use more yellow than the other colours because it's kind of making it pop. The more that I put on, look at that. The more I put, the more yellow that goes on, the more the other colours seem to start coming out. Now that I've said that, I've run out of yellow spots without putting them... Oh no, look, here's one. I was going to say, without putting two yellows next to each other. Okay. So... I'm going to make this one purple. And this one purple. And... this one. This one needs to be pink. And there's this one. I'll do that one pink. Anyone else talk to themselves when they just need expert advice? There we go. See, isn't that super cute? Now you know why we had to recreate. So, once that is dry, although we are going to test if we can do it straight away, aren't we? So if we don't need to spray seal, the next step is to obviously cover it with UV resin, make sure it's fully cured. I'll then drill my hole and attach all of my hardware. Okay, so I'll talk as if, because Holly said she didn't need to seal. So using that information, I'll let it dry completely and then final coat. I'm not going to bother putting a name or anything over that, same as the pen. I'm not going to bother putting a name on it. I'm just going to put it on my website as is and see if anybody wants some rainbow leopards in their life. So same deal again with the pen. And these are the kinds of bits that I'm talking about. Once I go to edit the video for YouTube, this part will be muted and sped up. Just so it's not super boring for you guys to watch on a replay. But you all get to sit through it for now, aren't you lucky? I only made it a couple of weeks ago, so I can't guarantee it won't fade over time. That's alright, Holly. Neither can I. I just wanted to try. I mean, I've used alcohol, like not markers, but alcohol inks on UV resin projects before, and I've never had a problem with it fading. But I also spray seal. So maybe I should do one not sealed and one sealed and keep them as a test. I might do that actually. Obviously not tonight. But I'll get two acrylic blanks and make up a sealed and a not sealed one, and we'll come back and check it and see if it fades over time. What do you reckon? I think that's a good idea. I'll just set a reminder in my calendar for 1 month after I do it, because Lord knows what my memory's like. But if it's in my calendar, it's a sure bet. That's why everything, even the most ridiculous shit, goes into my calendar. Otherwise it don't get done. My phone's going buzz buzz. So we've done those two. Okay, let's add... Now I want yellow to be last because that's going to be my filler again. So let's do some purple. While we're on the topic of alcohol markers, I went to tell you guys last night, and then I wasn't actually sure if she wanted it announced yet, so I ended up sounding like an idiot going, person we all know and love. But I have confirmed with her, and she's okay with me telling you. So, Danny from DJ Designs is getting in alcohol ink markers as well. Now, the difference between these ones and her ones, besides they're a different brand, and nobody should ever box themselves into just one brand of any craft supply. But hers have, remind me how many colors? Is it 103 or 130 different colors? And instead of, these ones are dual tip, so you've got a fine tip and a broad tip. Hers are going to be brush tips. Okay, so you're going to be able to do like all of the fancy card, you know, the card making art that you see with alcohol markers and stuff like that. They're all done with brush tip markers. I do believe hers also comes with a blending marker, which is like, does anyone remember the old textures where you'd use one end to write an invisible message and then you'd use the other end and it'd come up? Does anybody remember them? Same idea, but in reverse. That invisible marker end is what you use to blend to get like a watercolory look. A fine tip and a brush tip, sorry. So they are like a fine tip marker and then a brush tip marker. They're not dual ended, but there are two options as well. Honestly, I say brush tip because I'm interested in the brush tip. All of these have a fine tip. So I was just looking for something different. So I am most excited about the brush tip. Okay. I think Danny said she also, the pens that she's got come with a PDF file that I'm going to help her make accessible to the public. And basically you jump on, you download this file and it prints out and it shows you, it's like a color sheet, not a color sheet, what are they called? A swatch file, right? So it has all the names of the colors and what they look like. And it's got a bunch of blending tips and stuff as well. Is that right? Is that like it tells you how to use the blending marker and stuff? Will that work with other brands? The blending pen, Rebecca, I've got no idea. Until I get my hot little hands on some and test them out, there are going to be a lot of questions that I cannot answer. This is just more of a, hey, this is what I know is on its way. Since Belinda's always telling you guys about all the glitters that she's buying and giving us serious FOMO with her glitter collection, I'm going to do it with these markers. I think I got all the spots. So that didn't take too long. And now we've got a very cold and naked leopard somewhere. But that's our rainbow leopard. So that's going to now be a pen and keyring set. Danielle knows more about them than I do, so I'm glad that she's jumping in. But all we've got left, besides testing to see if we can put... this is the UV resin I am using at the moment, just because I've got to use it up. I buy my UV resin in bulk. But I am keen to try Holly's. I've got about, let's say, 2/3 of a bottle left. So it won't be too far away. But I usually wait until there's like this much left in a bottle. I buy the big 200 gram bottles. Never. You and I think 1 and think 2. Except it's Instigator 1 and Instigator 2. Okay, so tile. I thought, just for shits and giggles, because I had to find some crafts to make it. How long have we been streaming for now? About half an hour. Yeah, I wanted to stretch it out beyond like 15-20 minutes. So this is what we're going to do. And I'll try and get it. There we go. That's nice and in the center of the screen. So I'm going to attempt a sunset. Since we did beaches and sunsets on the cups for the last live of the intermediate series, I thought this might be fun. Yeah, so my idea, because if anybody watched that live, you saw the thermos that I made my dad that had the alcohol ink sunset. I didn't actually do a tutorial on that method because it's been done to death lately, but I did quickly go and explain how to do it. But that thermos that I showed is my dad's, right? So the idea is to put the same guy in the boat with the birds on a coaster for his computer desk, okay? Because Father's Day's coming up, and he's my dad. So I feel like, I mean, the poor bastard's gotten handmade gifts from me for the past 4 or 5 years now. But I thought, since I gave him a thermos last year, he can get the matching coaster for his computer desk this year. So, but I'm not using the same red, orange, yellow that I used for the Serape cup. This yellow is 37, orange is 34, the red is 22, and the blue is 70. Okay, I haven't painted this or prepped this or anything at all. You encourage me to share. That's because we love you and we love to see pretty things. I will never be mad at anybody for showing off what they got. Let's be honest, a lot of things that we buy in the crafting world or otherwise is because we've seen it somewhere or somebody else has got it. And we think, oh, yes. Don't mind if I do. We have yellow. This is also called yellow. So what's this? Oh, sorry. Pastel yellow. And now this is technically yellow, but to me it looks orange. Oh no, little tile, don't run away. I'm really sorry to any artists watching. I'm so sorry. Oh, I might be able to fit purple on there. Wouldn't that be something if I could fit the whole sunset? Oh no! It skipped and took all of the dry ink off with it. I actually don't mind that effect though. That's kind of cool. You'll hate me so much next week. Danielle, I have nothing left on my Afterpay. It's gonna be at least, well, I freed up some space on it today and then I used it. So it's gonna be another maybe 2 weeks before I have a reasonable limit that I can max out again. Oh, I like this blue. It's a very bright blue. That's pretty. I will sell my soul if I have to. Belinda, are you implying that you had one to begin with? I'll finish off with a little bit of purple. so the idea again is, obviously because I'm turning mine into a coaster, I'm going to be using my normal resin that I use for cups, because it does have a nice high heat rating for when he goes to put his mug on there. But if you were doing this for anything that didn't require a hot mug sitting on it, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to just either spray seal or use UV resin, depending on what the look is that you're going for. If you want a really glossy look, definitely use resin. If you don't care about the finish, just spray seal it, and turn it into wall art or something. If you are super artistic, which I am not, but if you know you can do better than stick figures and butterflies, wonky looking butterflies, you could even do it as like a set of 4, with like different little scenery pictures or abstract artworks or something on them, and sell them as a set of 4 for people's kitchen walls or something. Okay, so again, I'm gonna spray, and I hope that it goes back. I may have left it too long before it dried, or after it dried before I sprayed. That's okay, we fix it. It's no worry. That's the beauty of alcohol markers. You mess it up a little bit, you can fix it. You mess it up a lot, you spray the whole thing down, you wipe it off, you start again. Kind of like that spotty effect, but not enough to leave it looking like this. So I am leaving, I'll hold it up in a second, but I am leaving a little bit of that detail behind this next layer. Just because I do think, speaking of abstract, I do think it looks kind of cool. Has anybody got the new alcohol, like these alcohol markers, or had alcohol markers before I started this craze at the current craze at the moment? And if so, have you used them yet, and what did you use them to make? Let us know. Ta-da! If I wanted to, I could go through, do I have any? No, I don't. I could go through with like a little cotton bud that I've dipped in alcohol and blend those lines a little bit better. I don't have any Q-tips on me though, so that might be something that I have a little bit of a play with. But that's going to have the guy in the boat, right down the bottom, because he's supposed to be on the water, and then the birds that come up into the background, and that's the coaster with the alcohol markers. So we made tile coasters / wall art, depending on what you want to use them for. The phone grip, the rainbow leopard set, and the bag tag. Now we're going to bang, crash, smash. Okay. I'm going to try and do this in a way where you guys don't cop that glare. Make sure you wear your gloves. Had to remember which side I put the ink on. Obviously you want to resin the side that has the ink and not the opposite side. Now for this project, her name will go on the other side, but because it's one of those style keychains where the design comes in from the back. But this step still needs to be done regardless, so let's get it done. I have a bubble. How very rude. Okay. And we do the little sprinkles. One. Let's do this as well. I'm just going to do this slightly off camera while I'm pouring because I don't want the light to cure my bottle. Yes, I've done that before today. This, I'm going to put her business name on it. So that'll be a clear sticker, like using sticker paper, and then another coat of epoxy. And I don't want too much glitter, if there's ever such a thing. I just want the tiniest little, just a hint. I think I've got Copic ones. Belinda, have you ever used them for anything? Rebecca, open the parcel. It's close enough to your birthday. I'm saying happy birthday, open your present. I bought the Love Your Vinyl box last night. Yes, so did I. Guys, if you are loving rainbows as much as I do, please head over to loveyourvinyl.com.au. Corinne is absolutely fantastic. She does printed vinyl. If you've seen Anna's lives, where she's always raving about Corinne is Love Your Vinyl. She released her monthly box last night. It is rainbow themed. It is $35. You get, I think it's 6 or 8 different vinyls. Some of them are printed exclusive designs. Some of them are plain colours that perfectly match the colours in the patterned vinyls. And then it's $10 postage, and she has Afterpay. So you go and do that while we're curing, and we'll just sit here and we'll wait for you to get back after you go and buy the box. Are you back? Hi, welcome back. Okay, this will be the last minute and then we'll have a look. Although that's pretty much done. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. It didn't fade. This will need another coat, obviously. But that is no less pigmented than it was when we first did it. I don't think. We'll have a look at the rainbows. But the rainbows are actually coming up as like neons. That's cool. Oh, honk toot. So yes, it does work with the markers, as Holly said. I just thought I'd check because she was using a different type. But yes, it does work. So if you are using UV resin, guys, you do not have to seal. Ta-da! Thank you, Holly. I haven't gotten any notifications tonight to tell me that my connection's crappy either. So I think it was that swapping between the two connections that was doing it. Oh, that's spooky. Woohoo! Thank you very much, Belinda. We've got 20 seconds to go, guys. I'm like a 5-year-old. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, Camellia. Yeah, I don't know how my brain got there either, but there we are. I actually want to make I saw it once. I can't even remember where I saw it. I just remember laughing so hard I was crying. But somewhere, it wasn't around here. It might have been when I was down in Sydney for a competition or visiting friends or something. But somebody had on the back of their car 5 commas, like, you know, like full stop comma, right? 5 of them, and then a picture of a chameleon. So it read comma, 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 chameleon. Right? And I lost it. I still, to this day, I think it's the best bumper sticker I have ever seen. So I want to put that on my car. I haven't yet. It's been like a good, far out, maybe 12 months or more. I still haven't put it on my car. But I do want to. Every time I think about that sticker, I get a giggle. That's my kind of joke. Yay! Okay. I don't think that's faded either. Can you please focus? Thank you. Maybe just the tiniest bit. But not even enough to worry. I actually really like that. Pretty. Now that just makes it worse. Yeah, there we go. Please focus. It's pretty. So, that solves that question. No, you don't need to seal. Rebecca, was it Rebecca that asked? But we've now got our phone group. I had to think about that then. Our sunset tile. Serene's bag tag. And our leopard print. UV resin projects with alcohol markers. And that is all I have for you tonight. Now, move that way. Okay, so this is what we're doing. As I said, I spray painted it, I glittered it, it's been epoxied. Just to make sure, because I have not done this method with alcohol markers, I've only ever done it with alcohol inks. So I wanted to make sure that it did work. I've done one coat on the butt, and I've done my first line on the tumbler. But that is the effect that we're going for today with our alcohol markers. It is cold. It was cold here too today. I just flicked my, you know, the little strings that you pull to tighten your hoodie, just flicked them over my shoulder. Whew! That was, I'm sorry you missed that. That was quite dramatic. I've been watching too much TikTok, I think. Okay. So I am sorry that I am a little bit late. I went to click go live and it told me I didn't have an internet connection. So before we had any problems while I was live, I thought I'd better get that sorted too. So I was resetting my modem and now here we are. So while I'm getting everything sorted and ready, and there is a cat hair on my cotton ball. Get that away. I just want to mention something really quickly. Just before I tried to go live, but am now live, Anna put up a post in regards to one of our members doing a dry July. Now, Emma, if you are around, because I've already said hello to you, Emma is who is doing dry July. She's reached out to Anna to let Anna know that she's doing it. And we've decided to give her a bit of a shout out just to let you all know that she's doing it. We're not asking anybody to donate. However, if you'd like to, it would be greatly appreciated. The post has been pinned in the announcements, but we are asking that you be mindful that Emma and possibly others will be doing the Dry July challenge. Basically, it's where you sober up for the month. You're not allowed any alcohol. So we are asking all of you just to be mindful of the fact that people are doing it and maybe refrain from posting a lot of alcohol related content within the month of July. But I just wanted to mention that real quick while I was getting myself organized. Now, to do this method, you will need a tumbler. If you don't want to glitter it, you don't have to, but I do recommend you put a coat of epoxy on, just because that glossy, glassy finish is a lot easier to get this effect with. You will also need cotton balls or makeup pads. I've used makeup pads in the past as well. A little container and some alcohol. Now that I've just said, please don't talk about alcohol. We want like your medical grade stuff. I'm just going to wipe that up in case I put the cup in it and I wreck it. And our markers. Now the markers I'm using tonight are very similar, if I can get to focus, very similar to the colours that we were using on the leopard print last night. We're going with, the pink is number 6, the purple is number 83. I'm going back to this yellow that I was iffy on because I actually really like it. That's 33. A new one, which is a mint colour, is 58. And back to the blue, which is 66. I may or may not use all the colours, but I like having options. Oh no! See, that's exactly what I meant. Hang on. It must be nearly Friday, guys. I don't have any paper towel in here tonight either. So we're just going to swim. I'll have to do dry July because I'll still be plastered from the fumes by the time we hit the 1st of next month. That was like 15-20 mils of pure alcohol I just spilt. Hey, I'm just gonna hang on. I'm gonna open my window. Okay, let's try again. So we need a code word for alcohol ink now to not just crystallic, aka donuts. The inks that cannot be named. The blending solution that cannot be named. We'll just call everything Voldemort for July. Voldemort inks. There you go. You're more than welcome, Emma. Okay, let's try this again, shall we? If we have time at the end and I haven't bored you guys too much, I do want to put some gold flakes on it as well. But I've lost all the colour off my bottom. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen when I cleaned up that tiny little spill. So I think I self-actualized that situation there. Okay. So, may as well start on the bottom now. All you do is paint your marker on. Do little bits at a time because this stuff can dry really, really quickly. Okay, get our alcohol and a little bit on the cotton bud. And we dab. There we go. Okay, so next bit. As always with my awesome colouring skills. And we dab. See, and nobody even knows that I can't. Okay, I'm going to make this like a 2-year-old's done it. Right. See that? And then with your magic ball, what are we calling it? Crocodile. We blend. Ta-da! Croc juice. Alrighty. That's what we're going with. Okay, now that I've done the purple, I actually want to add, I've already done this blue line. I'm going to move you up a little bit. Let's go this way. Too much alcohol and you will take all of the pigment out of your colour. So make sure once you dab it in your alcohol solution, you blot it somewhere. I was actually supposed to bring paper towel in with me, but I forgot. And that's gone a little bit lighter than I want it to. So, it's still wet. We'll come back to that part. I'm going to do down the bottom on this side as well. So you can use any colours you like for this method. Just did it again. Stuff it. I'm using it off here. I'm not cleaning that up again. We're too far gone now. I just won't put the cup back down. But yeah, you can use any colours that you like. One thing that I really want to try, if anybody would like to beat me to it, because it'll probably be a while before I get the time to try it, I'd really like to try a sunset. Right, same idea with the white glitter in the background and doing it over the top like this, but instead of doing a watercolor effect like we're getting here, I want to do a sunset. So if that's something that you'd like to try, go ahead and let me know how you go, and I'll learn off you. We'll swap jobs. Let's do some yellow up the top. We're almost at Friday. I like Fridays. It's the only day that I have the whole house to myself. I can watch whatever I want on TV without being judged for my entertainment choices. So nice and simple. But you're starting to get, see that, isn't that pretty? I just think the watercolor effects, I mean, you do, if you wanted to do it with alcohol inks, you do it exactly the same way, except I use like the foam makeup sponges to dab my ink on, and then I come back with a cotton ball or a, that dry yet? Or a makeup pad, like a cotton makeup pad, and go over the top the same way that we're doing. Okay, so I'm going over the purple that I've already put on. Sounds much more pigmented now. So you can go back over areas that you've already done. You just have to make sure, like if your marker's a little bit too light, or maybe you added a little bit too much alcohol like we did at the beginning. Once it's dry, you can go back over the top and you can build your color that way. Okay, same as if you make a mistake, spray the cup and wipe it away. You can make as many mistakes as you like. You can build it up as much as you like. It's a very forgiving, actually I'm going to join that in the middle. It's a very forgiving effect. What do you reckon? Let's add some pink. Scratch, scratch. I can hear around this rim where it needs more resin. We need a new cotton ball. Just going to keep using up the alcohol we've already spilt. And blend that through. Just want to blend these lines a little bit more, because now that they've settled, they're really harsh. There we go. Isn't that cool? Don't get me wrong, I like my glitters, but inks can just be so much fun. You could actually do, looking at these colours, you could do a pretty wicked unicorn burst, I reckon. Instead of like putting the paints down and then putting glitters over the top, do like a fine opal, chunky opal, fine opal ombre, and then around that chunky band you could do this method with the alcohol inks, the alcohol markers, and get that kind of effect, but just as a burst. Or a geode, that's true. There you go, tag, you're it. Do that as a wee-wah. An alcohol marker geode. Ha ha ha. Excuse me, I shouldn't say that. I'm choking on my own hilarious sense of humour. That's what just happened then. Because I thought, yeah, okay, she can do it. And then I realised, oh shit, no, if she's got to do it, I've got to do it. You can do it first, and I'll watch how you've done it. And I'll come along and do the tutorial behind you. I'm going to add this really nice mint colour, because I haven't used this one yet, but mints and teals and greens are my favourite colour group. I don't really have a favourite colour anymore. I kind of just expanded out into the whole green spectrum, as you do. I'm using the fine tip as well, guys, just because I thought that would be easier. But I am going to swap to the broad in a second, just because I'm curious. Let's go blue again. Blue's the only one that doesn't have a... Oh no, what did I say? We're going to use... What? The broad tip. Let's give the broad tip a try. Another part that needs more epoxy around that rim. And then we're just about out of alcohol. Croc juice! That's alright. I'm only going live once in July, and we're doing Christmas in July. So, oh no, because I am using inks. That's alright. I'm going to call them... What can we call them? I'm going to call them Voldemort inks. I'm sticking with that. Those which cannot be named. Came up a lot more blue than the other side. Where's the other side? Here, you can't even see it anymore. Let's fix that. Wrong one! Kinda went like that. I think I like the broad tip better, at obviously because it's broader. It lays down more pigment. Look at that. Let's go pink again. And I'm going to switch to the broad tip. I ain't sowing no eggplant. I can sew zippers and fix buttons and do hems. That's about the extent of my sewing genius. I did textiles in high school and I passed. I can't tell you how I passed, but I did pass. I've lost my pink balls. I need more. So because Laura can't be trusted with a shot glass, we're going to spray it onto the cotton wool instead. No, I said I was going to put it over the top. Like print it with printable vinyl or something. Man, I can't even draw stick figures without the poor buggers getting offended. I'm not going to attempt anything. Let's go purple. sorry if that affected anybody else. That made me, whoo, that little squeaky squeak. Ta-da! So I'm going to add yellow to just this little top bit. Here. And then we're going to go back through and blend it. Okay, so now I've got all of my colours on, but you can see like here, some sections you can see like I've gone like this. Okay, so I'm going to go through now and going top to bottom very, very lightly. See that effect? And just keep going and turning because the effect doesn't happen straight away. If you do it and it doesn't change, don't keep going over the same spot because you're not going to have... Ta-da! Watercolors. Now there is this mint section here, and this mint section and this yellow section here have faded out quite badly. Just going to go through and blend these lines out just a little bit more. We don't want harsh lines. So once it dries again, now that I've gone and dabbed all over it, I will build this section. So now all three of those have faded up again. But let's see if it helps if I turn this on. No, not really. If I move my arm out of the way, there we go. Ta-da! So it's just that one section there. What do you reckon? I can't get my lid on. Here we go. It is super sparkly. And it's really pretty. I think I approve of my colour choices for this evening, guys. Now I've just got to figure out what to put on it. Which won't be an eggplant, let's be honest. You missed the which glitter is it question. That's because it's an excellent question. I think it is Stardust from... No, it's not. It's Tambourine from Sparkles by Carrbee. Thought it might have been a peachy glitter, but it's not because that's on my wall. So it must be Tambourine. So it's this one. Now, before I can't breathe in here anymore, I just want to quickly show you my glue stick. I want to show you my glue stick. Okay, so let's start here. See how that looks, eh? These are flakes from LBB Resin. Stuff like this is usually what I do in like the behind the scenes filming before it goes on YouTube, but I knew that this live wouldn't take very long tonight, and I knew that this would be something that we could do while it was live. So, kids glue stick, foil flakes, crappy paintbrush. You go like this. And it takes away all the excess, and you're left with looking like the Queen of Sheba, because you're covered in gold, or Cleopatra, but ta-da. Put your lid on that. Achoo! No, I want to add a couple more spots before I say goodbye to you. That's why I haven't put the lid on yet. This is how you see my anxiety playing out, if anybody wants to know why I'm such a mess tonight and why I kept knocking over the bottle and everything. My internet not working made me panic that my internet wasn't going to work at all, right? And from there I just ended up in a spiral. So I kind of fall apart a little bit with my anxiety. And you've gotten a word. You've had the pleasure of witnessing that firsthand tonight. That's what happens when things don't go according to plan for me. Right, so I'm just going to keep going through and adding. I wonder if I turn. No, that just makes it worse. Right, all the way around. Get off my cup. So bottom, top, I'm going to add it here. Since you're so eager to join us, you can go on first. Usually if I'm working with foil, like in coasters or something like that, I will use tweezers. When I'm working on cups, I just use my fingers. But because I'm using like glue stick, if you were using tacket or something, when I'm using tiny little flakes like nail flakes, I will use tacket, just because it's much easier to control the flakes with tacket. But big projects like this, the glue stick works just fine. Just make sure you spray seal. Ta-da! Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that the whole way around to finish that off. But following Lindy's recommendation, put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Okay, but that is the alcohol marker mini series. Have you tried double-sided tape? Honestly, Rebecca, I would think that would be so much more of a pain in the ass than it needs to be. Foil flakes are already a tricky medium to work with. But yeah, just glue. Mod Podge works to a degree, but because it's so wet, I tend to have a little bit of trouble using that. If I'm using Mod Podge, I put it on really, really thinly. Really thin. But yeah, usually I use tacket or a glue stick, or I just mix it straight into resin if I'm doing a resin project. But that is it. Ta-da! That's why I saved it till last, because that's so pretty. Okay, so to recap, part 3 was our watercolor effect. Okay. Then part 2 last night, I'm just going to fold this that way so I don't get gold flakes everywhere. We did my daughter's bag tag, which is now finished. I can hear a pussycat outside. Hi, pussycat. I had the jingle jingles. I have the rainbow foam grip, which does have, if I turn the light on, are you gonna sparkle? The tiniest little bit of sparkle. There we go, to it. That's been epoxy, well, UV resined. It still has to have, I've done a clear sticker with her logo, so that still needs her logo and a final coat. Serendity's bag tag, however, is finished. So this is the side that we did the alcohol markers on, and then we glittered, and that's been epoxied over as well. And then I used a water slide with more UV resin on this side. The phone grip, the sunset coaster, I was really hoping to have finished for you guys today, but as you can see, it didn't get its silhouette put on it. So when I finish that, I will post a photo. The set is now finished. A little leopard print set that we did with alcohol markers and UV resin. That's now finished. And then part 1, we did our stained glass cup, which has been finished and spray sealed and is now ready for epoxy. And this is our Serape cup. And this is what he picked. Do we have any fellow Roald Dahl fans in the house? That's a fantastic Mr. Fox quote. But if you knew Logan, that fits him perfectly. So that is his Fox cup. And I used normal alcohol ink on the bottom. I just blotched it on with a, what's the word? A makeup sponge. Because I didn't want it to be all streaky. But that's how the Serape cup turned out, and that was done with alcohol markers. That now needs spray sealing and its final coat of epoxy, and that's ready for him as well. So I'm going to press this button and press this button. And does anybody have any questions before I share a little bit of news with you guys? No, I'm not pregnant. Sorry to disappoint you all. But I do have some exciting news. Well, it's kind of a baby. I suppose it is kind of a baby. But does anybody have any questions about anything that we've done over the last 3 days before we continue?